Welcome back to Blades Focus. I'm Brad and this is Sheffield United versus Mansfield Town FA Cup preview. So Sheffield United take on Mansfield Town at half-2 kick-off on Sunday afternoon. And every match that United play from now on, I'll be doing a match preview on this channel with 3 segments. In the first segment, I'll be introducing both teams, the form, how they got there if it's a cup game. And then I'll be talking about the game in general, if there's any stats that stick out or if it's a big game for any reason. And then in the second segment, I'm going to speak about one player from each team that I think will stand out in the match. So I'll pick a player and I'll go through some of the stats and why I think he'll make a difference in the game. And then the final segment is pretty easy, of course, it's a predicted lineup and a predicted scoreline. So I'm just going to be telling you who I think will start and why and what I think the score will be. As you can see on the screen now, Mansfield beat Harrogate 3-2 in the first round of the FA Cup. It was a real back and forth game, but George Maris got the late goal to make sure Mansfield went through to the second round. And then in the second round, Mansfield travelled to Accrington. It was 2-2 after extra time. Mansfield won 3-1 on penalties. Of course, I don't need to explain for Sheffield United, they're automatically in the third round, so that's how both teams got there. Of course, form is a bit different in the FA Cup as they're in a lower league, but I'm still going to go through it. For Sheffield United, they've won 3 out of the last 5 games, losing the other 2. Of course, losing to West Brom and Wrexham away in that time, but beating Birmingham, Leicester and Stoke. And then looking at Mansfield Town Fa, they drew to Wimbledon, lost to Stockport, then they beat Barnsley, Bolton and Bradford. Of course, they're on a 3-game winning streak in League One at the moment. They're doing well in the table, and especially the last game against Bradford, beating them 3-0 when they're up for automatic promotion, which proves that Sunday's game will be no easy task. I think they'll be right up for it, wanting to get the game won, and especially with Nigel Clough, who I want to talk a little bit about. Of course, Nigel Clough returning to the line after being Sheffield United manager for 2 years between 2013 and 2015, and the reason I brought this up is he took us on 2 magnificent cup runs. Of course, in that season he joined 2013 and he took us on a brilliant cup run which included beating Charlton, Forest, Villa and Fulham. We would unfortunately lose at Hull in the semi-finals 5-3, an absolute thriller, and then the very next season, 2014-2015 in the League Cup, we got to the semi-finals, narrowly losing to Tottenham. We beat West Ham away on penalties, beat high-flying Southampton, and we only lost to Tottenham because of Christian Eriksen's brilliance. Now that we've had a look at some stats before the game, let's have a look at the players that could impact the game. Starting off with the host, Sheffield United, I've gone for Ryan Ona. I think he can make a real impact on this game. Of course, because we're playing a lower opposition, I think it's a perfect chance for someone like a Ryan Ona to stand out, try and get a couple of goals. I think that Ona will go out on loan in January, but he's got this game first, hopefully he can prove himself and get a good suitor. So I think League One is about his level, so I think it'll be a big task this game to prove what he's worth. Of course, he's not got much chance in the Championship this season, but in the FA Cup, he's got a big chance to go and prove himself. And then for Mansfield Town, I've gone for Reece Oates, the informed striker. He's 31 now, he's been around for absolutely ages, he's just signed a contract extension with Mansfield Town. If you look at the underlying numbers, past the goals and assists, you'll find that it takes 5.3 touches in the box per 90, which means he'll always be in and around the box looking to make stuff happen. He averages a goal involvement every 118 minutes. And I think he's that player that Mansfield will look to create something from. He has a high successful dribble rate. And if you look at the shots he takes and the chances that he creates during the game, I think he will be a threat for Mansfield Town. Looking at the team now, that I think while I will put out, I don't think we'll go too strong, but I don't think we'll go weak either. I think we'll definitely look to have a good blend of youth and experience to try and win that game. In net, I think it's Adam Davies. It's a very simple choice. Cooper's carrying an injury, so I suppose anytime we do have a chance to rest Cooper, I think that's the right decision. At right back, I've gone for new signing Keanu, who was announced on Thursday night. I think he will start this game to get some match fitness. He's been playing a few minutes for Wolves, so I think he'll play this game to fully integrate himself into the team and get that match fitness, like I mentioned. And I think it's a great opportunity to make his debut and show what he can do to the United fans. I think for the centre backs, he'll keep Bindon in for that bit of experience. Of course, Bindon has been a regular start in the Championship recently. I think he'll keep that in for a bit of experience. And I don't think he'll want to make 11 changes. He'll want to keep some key players in, so I think he'll be one of them. And the reason I mentioned experience, I think he'll put Nils Zatterstrom in for his debut at left centre back. I think this is a perfect game for Zatterstrom to make his debut, show what he's about. Of course, Wilder is looking to send him out on loan, see if he can get some game time regular at another club. But I think a game like this against lower opposition, a perfect chance to make his debut. He wants some more experience next to him. Of course, the only 2 real options for left back is McCallum or Burrows. I'm going for Burrows because he's played less minutes. I think he'll look to give McCallum a well-earned rest, and I think Burrows will take that spot for this game. He won't want to keep the team too inexperienced, so I think Burrows will be one of them starters, and I think he'll be one of the key players looking to create something going into this match. I think moving into midfield, we'll keep a similar formation, this 4-4-2 that we've been running recently. I think Chong will start the game, as he's been struggling for minutes recently. I think it's a good chance for him to make an impact. Of course, he had an injury at the start of the season that kept him out for a while. He's back in the team now, so get some minutes in, that'll be good. Of course, we've seen what he can do in glimpses, but this match is a perfect opportunity to see what he can do fully. I think in midfield, we're lacking body due to injuries, so I think Samari and Alblatter will be them 2 that start. It's a perfect chance to try and get some more minutes under his belt, try and get a bit of form going. And then, of course, Samari next to him. He's been on good form recently, had a good couple of matches while Pekka's been out. So I think we'll want to keep that midfield quite experienced, so I think we'll go with them 2 in the midfield. On the left, I've gone for Gustavo Harmer. He's not had too many minutes since the return of his injury, so I think this game will be perfect for him. Of course, Caloera has took his spot at left mid, so for the time being, he's a backup for now. But he'll definitely be a key player going into this match, looking to try and create something. It's quite a tricky one with him in the minute because he's obviously a brilliant player, but he just doesn't fit into the system as of now. And because Caloera has been so brilliant this season, it's hard to find a place for Harmer in the team. And then up front, I've gone for One and Patrick Bamford. Of course, like I mentioned in the preview, I think One will be a key player ahead of this match, and I think he'll be that one that's trying to find gaps in the defence, trying to make them runs behind. Of course, out of the 2 up front, he's got the pace, he'll be one looking to make the runs, and then Patrick Bamford will be the one that holds the ball up, looking to get the ball to his feet. Of course, it's looking like Bamford will be signing a new contract till the end of the season, at least. I'm not sure if it's the end of the next season, to be honest. And of course, if it's true, it's a massive boost that we've tied him down. Overall, it's not too weak of a team, he's not too strong either. I think we'll win 2-0. I can definitely see them getting onto the score sheet, but I think we will manage to keep a clean sheet. And I think the scorers will be Chong and and Bamford. And there we go, guys, that's a full preview before Sheffield United versus Mansfield Town in the FA Cup. Hopefully Monday I'll have a match reaction and player ratings out on the channel, but if you want to see my immediate match reaction after the game, head over to my TikTok where I post them straight after. Of course, there's a ton of FA Cup games and some league games going on this weekend, so let me know in the comments if you're going to one. And as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, go follow all my socials in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.